So I've had a bit of a week. I got out of Joondalup CCU last night at about 5 o'clock. So yeah, it's been a bit of a eye opener. Been a bit rough, eh? Didn't feel too well. Putting it down to a lot of different stuff, you know, diabetes, whatever. Twisted knee, got a twisted knee, got this diabetes, got a bit of edema going on. Never really thought too much about it. Got a bit of a crackle, and because everybody's been, you know, there's been a lot sick here, I'm just thinking I've just got a bit of a cold, bit of a crackle, no worries. But I had an ultrasound on my knee because my knee was wrecking me. Every time I'd sit down for an hour or so and stand up, I was just like nearly collapsing. And didn't tickle. It just wasn't getting any better, which was weird because I do normally recover quite quick. And goes and had an ultrasound, go to the docs, and he's looking at the results of the ultrasound going, what's your pain level? And I'm like, 7 or 8. It's like cripples me. He went, you shouldn't be getting that much pain going off the ultrasound, you know. And Sin just said, check his lungs while he's here, will you? He's got a bit of a crackle. So he checks my lungs. Lungs aren't that bad. Go and have an ECG. So he sends me for an ECG straight away, comes back, and he's writing out a referral letter. And some blood thinners. He's giving me some blood thinners. He was going to give me this letter to go and, you know, book in somewhere. And he went, I tell you what, just take the letter to A&E now. It's like, do not pass go, do not collect $200, just go. You know, I was like, ugh. And God bless him, it was the first time I've been at Joondalup A&E and gone straight through, which I did, you know, I went straight in on a wheelchair. So then you start thinking, ooh, what's going on? And got the edema, they picked that up. And now they start thinking, well, what's wrong with your heart? So your heart's got 4 chambers. And the top 2 chambers, instead of pumping like this, it's doing this. It's like wobbling, and it's not giving me, it's not pumping properly. So that's the starting effect, the bottom part. And so the heart rate's up and down, just all over the place. And it was a bit of a scare. Because I never had any pain. You don't even feel it. I never felt any pain, no flutter, no aching, nothing. I was shocked, absolutely shocked, when they said it's your heart. So, there I am. In A&E, Monday night, till gone midnight, and they say, oh, we're going to send you for a CT scan now. Well, when I have a CT scan, so I'm lying down, do the CT scan, boom, 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 come out of there, and they send me up to this CCU unit, brand new. It's beautiful. Get up there, by the time I'm getting up there, I'm absolutely just throwing up, coughing, like I couldn't stop coughing. I thought I was dying with this coughing fit. And it had them flapping a bit, I think. So they're working on me then, giving me all sorts, and I ended up in the biggest room in this brand new facility. You know, just being pampered rotten by all these nurses for a week. It was great, but you know, nice meals and just, yeah. I can't say enough about Joondalup. If anybody slags Joondalup Hospital off, they were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And so then you've got to whack your heart back into rhythm. So then I had a big pad here, big pad like this, boom, big pad on the back, and they come in and they hold your head and they put this thing in your throat and give you a whack on a defib. And it's been perfect since. So yeah, So they just changed. So here I am. Well, you can't keep a good man down, so you're going to get a message today. It's probably the biggest 40 scriptures we've had. Oh, buckle up. But we're here, that's the main thing, eh? Torah portion. This Torah portion is Shlach, Lcha. You could think of it as the sin of the spies, or the great spy disaster. The Hebrew Shlach, Lcha is send for yourself, or send on your behalf. And there's something in that, to be honest. Send on your behalf. Comes from the first line in Numbers 13. Portions, it's a man-made thing. It's not really a godly thing. It's a man-made thing. The rabbis decided, let's split the Torah up so we can read the Torah in a year, and that's what they did. So it's nice. It's good. It's no problem. Lovely tradition. There's a lot of beautiful traditions. And the God-based, that's the main thing. That's what they've got to be. So this is where Adonai is telling Moses to send, or is he? This is where 12 spies get sent into the land. So let's pick up the story. In Numbers 13, he says, they went up to the Negev and arrived at Hebron. Achaman and Sheshai, Talmai, the Anakim lived there. They lived in the Eshcol Valley, and there they cut off a branch bearing one cluster of grapes, which they carried on a pole between them. They also took pomegranates and figs. So the Negev's the southern part of Israel, is where October 7th happened. Israel's small. 7,995 square miles, it's small. And if you put that in perspective, Tasmania is like 3 times bigger. So it's small compared to, when you think about it, the 8 million square miles of Arab territory that there is. I told Cindy the other day, actually, I told you, how you got to think about Israel is, you go buy a postage stamp, right? And you put it on right in the center of the center circle in a football field. And then you see the football field surrounding it. That's Israel, in the middle of it all. 8 million square miles of Arab territory around them. It's really not about occupying the land, is it? Never has been. But safe to say the children of Israel have to depend on a very, very big God, and they are doing right now. And they will win. I can promise you that. A large cluster of grapes. That'd have been a fair cluster of grapes to have to be carried by a pole, wouldn't it? So they've gone in to survey the land, scout it out, any enemy positions, because it's really the enemy that they're worried about, right? That's the kicker. So here we go. Adonai said to Moses, send men on your behalf, not mine, yours. Reconnoitre the land. Go on a recce. That's where you go and have a recce. Go and do a recce. Reconnoitre. Good word. David Stern. In the land of Canaan, which I'm giving the people. From each ancestral tribe, send someone who's a leader. So you've got 12 tribes, you've got 12 leaders. But he's saying, send on your behalf. He's not saying on my behalf, is he? Because he doesn't need them to go in. He knows what's going on. It's more than just go and check it out. They're going recce in it, giving it a proper recce. It means locate the enemy, see the numbers, see how strong they are, where they are, recon the area. Go and find everything out where everybody is. Take one leader from each tribe, 12 men. Now, understand, these men going in was absolutely not of the Lord. Looks like he's saying go in, but some things in the Bible are of man and not of God. Like if you read some parts of Ecclesiastes, you can get a little bit thrown off because quite a bit of Ecclesiastes is where Solomon's very, very jaded, and it's his opinion, it's not God's. Got to be careful what's of God and what isn't. What's of God and a blessing, what's of man and a curse. So you could read that and wash over it and think, well, God's sending them in, go in. But I don't think so. If you look at Deuteronomy and the people that they're about ready to go into the land here, they're at Kadesh Barnea, they've left Horeb or Sinai, where they're given the law, and it's taken them 11 days to get there. 11 days. That's all it was. And you know from Deuteronomy 1, these are the words Moshe spoke to all of Israel on the far side of the Jordan River, in the desert, in the Arava, across from the surf. It's 11 days' journey from Horeb to Kadesh Barnea, southern point of Israel. 11 days, it's right there. It really shouldn't have turned into 40 years, should it? They really should have got there sooner, shouldn't they? But so should some of us. We should get there sooner too. Men being men just walk off into the wilderness, do their own thing. Deuteronomy 1:19 says, we left Horeb and went through all that vast and fearsome desert, which you saw on the way to the hill country of the Amori. As Adonai our God ordered us, we've arrived at Kadesh Barnea. There I said to you, you've come to the hill country of the Amori, which Adonai God is giving us. Look, Adonai God has placed the land before you. Go up, take possession. Adonai your God, the God of your ancestors, has told you to. Don't be afraid. Don't be dismayed. He's just retelling what's happened in the past in the little section of Numbers. And he's reminding them. And he's saying, don't forget. Don't forget where you've come from. What does that mean? Don't forget where you've come from. Because we do tend to forget what we should remember. And remember what we should forget, don't we? And here you are now on the southern tip of Israel. And he's saying, Adonai's give you this. He's give you this. You approached me, every one of you, and said, let's send men ahead of us to explore the country for us. Bring back word concerning what route we should use. Going up to the cities, what cities we're going to encounter. And the idea seemed good to me. So I took 12 of you men, each one from each tribe. Why are they approaching him? Because they're scared, aren't they? They're not trusting Adonai. They're scared. It seems good to go and have a look to Moses, but it looked good to Moses, not to the Lord. It seemed good to Moses. If God's telling you to go, you're probably best to go. Not think too much about it. Sometimes it might, on the face of it, not seem to make sense. We've been there with bells on, haven't we? But if you think too much about it, you're going to hold something beautiful back. Just do what God says. That's an idea, isn't it? Novel. How are you going to know if you don't go? I remember him telling me that. How are you going to know? How are you going to know? What if it falls apart? If it falls apart, it falls apart, but what if it doesn't? Big difference. You're always going to wonder if you don't go. You're never going to experience his greatness if you don't step out in faith. Put some feet on your faith. That's the game. I would have, I could have, I should have, but I never did. If only I had. Don't live in the past. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the future. It's not here yet. Just focus on now. Now is all we've got. So don't miss the moment. And you don't have to analyze everything that God tells you. Rabbi Greg calls it the paralysis of analysis. You know, God, you know, if you just imagine a baseball game, God wants you to be the kid who's, you know, the little chubby kid who don't really get a crack, but he's determined to have a go. And everybody's thinking, loser! But he still gets up and he has a go. And he's always going to use that one, isn't he? Rather than the big I am. Look at what I can do. They're sitting there thinking, oh, don't pick me, don't pick me. He's going to pick you. He's going to pick you. And he will give you a home run, he will. Even if you've never hit a ball in your life. He likes to use the kids who'll strike out. Then he gets the glory, and that's what it's all about. Moses succumbed to pressure because he's human. He caved in. He said, yeah. It's easier to say yes to pressure, isn't it? Because you don't want to offend or... Well, sometimes you need to offend. Sometimes you do. People need it because they won't change without it. We went over it last week, didn't we? Yeshua with the religious leadership, straining out a gnat and swallowing a camel. Remember? Whitewashed on the outside, but inside your dead men's bones. We know a few like that. Tithe your mint, your dill, your cumin. You're careful to do that, but you're completely missing what's more important. Justice and mercy and humility. Don't neglect the farmer. Make sure you do the greater. Take the plank out your own eye before you remove the speck out your brother's. It's offensive, isn't it? We've got a very offensive faith. And then he says, on top of all of that, you're vipers. More than that, so's your dad. He's a viper too. Oh, Yeshua, don't you realize you're offending them? Like, oh yeah, because they need it. They're not going to change otherwise. He's just telling them the truth, really. Just the truth. Some just can't handle the truth. So what do they do? Shoot the messenger, don't you? Let's kill him. Let's get rid of him. It's easier to say yes. Because that's today's microwave ping society, isn't it? Everybody wants easy. 3 easy payments. 3 easy payments. Buy the running machine. Because you're going to lose weight in 6 easy weeks. Until you realise it's not easy and the running machine takes up half your garage and then you want to sell it for half the price it's worth. Because it's easy. It's not easy. What's right isn't always easy, but it's right. It can be hard, it can be tough, but it's right. It's not easy being a believer. It's going to get harder to be a believer. Because they're going to come at us. They're going to hate him. They're going to hate you. But what you believe is right. And it's good and it's true. The spies should have known better. They knew God was giving them the land. It went all the way back to Genesis 12. It still goes back to Genesis 12. Avram passed through the land of the place called Shechem to the oak of Moreh. The Canaani were there. Then in the land, Adonai appeared to Avram and said, to your descendants, I'm going to give you this land. And so he built an altar there. Clearly, God giving him the land. And that's all you really need to know as a believer. As a believer, you've got a biblical mandate to love the least of Yeshua's brethren, the least of them. Matthew 24, 25, 40. You've got to love the least of these brethren of mine, right? It's a commandment, it's a mandate. Don't tell me all these Christians, no, we've got no part of Israel. That's a modern state of Israel. That's nothing to do with biblical Israel. It's got everything to do with them. The Jewish people are the Jewish people. The least of them, he says, the king. What's the consequence if you don't? You're a goat. And you're out. Be careful, Christians. It's very, very real. Adelphos, right? Adelphos. Blood brothers from the womb. Love these people. When you did for the least of these people of mine, you did it for me. That's a mandate. Yeah. It's a mandate. And where is it? Matthew 25. So he's going to come and pick on it. How you lived your life. The Bible's all we have and it's all we need. It's not about being politically correct. We've got to be biblically correct. That's all that matters. All that matters when it comes down to it is that. Nothing else matters. Nothing. You want fire? You put me in hospital for a week, you want to get fire. He reconfirms with Abram, I am Adonai, who brought you out from Ur of Kasdim. Where's that? Modern day Iraq. To give you this land as your possession. Now, they haven't got all that land yet, but they will. When Yeshua comes, oh, they will. There'll be a day, and you can see it coming like a freight train if you've got eyes to see. When what? When Zechariah comes true. All the nations will surround her. It's not hard to see anymore, is it? All the nations. She won't be able to hold. At some point, the IDF are good, but they're not that good. They can't go against the world. And bear that in mind. They're the defense force. The Israeli defense force. Well, there'll be a day when they cry out for Mashiach. When you will see that eastern sky crack open and a big white horse jumping through it. And it's not going to end pretty for them if they don't believe. I'm establishing my covenant between me and you, along with your descendants after your generation after generation, an everlasting covenant. to be God for you and for your descendants after you. I'm going to give you and your descendants after you the land in which you are now foreigners. All the land of Canaan. What does it say? As a permanent what? What does that mean? Does this tell lies? If that's a lie, we've got to throw the whole thing out. Permanent according to God. Just saying. Just saying. 3 times to Abram, divine perfection. Then to Isaac, stay in the land. I'll be with you. I'm going to bless you because I give you these lands. To you, to your descendants. I'm going to fulfill the oath I swore to Abram, your father. I'm going to make your descendants as numerous as the stars. I'm going to give you this land, your descendants. By all your descendants, all the nations of the earth are going to be blessed. Boom. Then Jacob. Your name is Yaakov. Well, you'll be called Yaakov no longer. You'll be named Israel. Thus he named him Israel. God further said to him, I'm El Shaddai. Be fruitful, multiply, a nation indeed, a group of nations will come from you, kings will be descended from you, moreover the land which I give to Abraham and Isaac, I'm going to give to you. I'm going to give to your descendants after you. There it is. I think it went past that. Joseph, I'm dying, but God surely will remember you and bring you out of this land that he swore to Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. The land he swore, he will not go back on that word. They all knew it was their land given by God. And then on top of all that, he tells Moses, the prince of Egypt, just in case he didn't know, in Exodus, go gather the leaders of Israel together, say to them, Adonai, your God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, has appeared to you and said, I've been paying close attention to you and I've seen what is being done to you in Egypt. And I've said that I will lead you out of this misery to the land of the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Amori, the Perizzite, the Hivi, the land of milk and honey. Israel. Right there. Because God knows what he's doing. Don't ever think he doesn't know. Whatever's going on, he's allowing. You might think the world's falling apart, but it's not. It's falling into place. For his purposes. It's all his purposes, not what we think. His purposes are good. But they were there for 430 years. But it was his purposes, it had to be. Because he's a time. He's a God of timing. There's a time for everything. And everything in its time. He said to Moses, Exodus 6, God spoke to Moshe and he said to him, I am Adonai. I appeared to Abraham, Isaac and Jacob as El Shaddai. Although I didn't make myself known to them by my name, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. That's his name. You can't put vowels there, make it up, all that. Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, done. You're not supposed to pronounce it. Also with him I established my covenant to give them the land of the Canaan, the land where they wandered about and lived as foreigners. It's all over the place. Moses didn't know him before this. He knew he was the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, but he didn't know him intimately, did he? Now he's making himself known to Moses because you have to know him personally. You've got to have an encounter. You can't just wing it. Oh, well, my gran was a devout believer. Good. Good for Granny. Good for Granny. But Granny's not going to be sat with you when you got to sit with Messiah. Granny's not going to be there if your name's not in the book of life. It's individual, isn't it? He's got to be your Passover lamb. It's individual. Making himself known. El Shaddai. Shaddai, you see on the nose, you see a shin. You see on, like mezuzahs, you'll see a shin. Protection, right? 3 letters. Shaddai. Shin, Dalit, Yud. Forms an acronym. Shomer Daltot Yisrael. It means the guardian of the gates of Israel. You go against Israel, you're going against the guardian of the gates. That's who God is. And he's given them the land. And it's the reason he delivered them from Egypt. He parted the Red Sea for that reason. He took care of them through the journey to give them the land. Well, the spies blew it, didn't they? No faith, no trust. After everything they've been through. You come back and what happens? 40 days later, they returned from reconnoitering the land and went to Moshe, Aaron, and the entire community of the people of Israel at Kadesh in the Paran desert, where they brought back word to them and the entire community and showed them the fruit of the land. What they told them was this: we entered the land where you sent us, and indeed it flows with milk and honey. Here's its fruit. However, oops. And there's that word. However, the people living in the land are fierce. Of course they are. So what? But God, he's going to show them who he is, and he's a bit more fierce than them. I'm going to show you. The cities are fortified. Of course they are. More than that, the Anakim, the descendants of Cush, they're giants. Wow. So what? So what? Caleb jumped right in. Shut up, quiet. He knows. Silences the people. He's not having a bar of it. He knows how destructive what he's saying can be. Doesn't he? We ought to go up immediately, take possession of it. There's no question. No question. He didn't have a doubt in his mind. But that fear, that anxiety, that can spread like a cancer. It happens in communities, it happens in families, it happens in congregations. And he dives straight in and says, no, we need to go now. Right now. None of this. Let me pray about it. Let me pray about it. You don't need to pray. You see somebody who needs a meal, you don't need to pray about it, do you? Struggling, homeless, you don't need to pray about it. Help them. What's there to pray about? Let's have a committee meeting. Maybe not. Maybe not. Seriously? Do you know what let me pray about it is? It's Christianese for, I'm going to make myself look really spiritual, but I really don't want to do it. Christianese. Some things absolutely need praying into, but some things really don't. Some things are no-brainers. What we needed here was action, action, action. The many who had gone with him said, we can't attack those people. They're stronger than we are. And they spread a negative report about the land they'd reconnoitred for the people by saying the land we passed through in order to spy it out is land that devours its own. It's making it up. It's devouring its own inhabitants. All the people we saw there were giants. Just making it up. And they were giants, yeah, so what? We look like grasshoppers to them. Joshua was hated by the people of Canaan because he did them. He chased them down and sorted them out. Didn't bother Joshua and Caleb facing giants. It shouldn't really bother us neither. Why? Because our God's bigger than them. That's why. They knew it. But regardless, you got this negative report, and it's discouraging. It pushes hopelessness and gloom, depressing. It's bleak. Nothing positive about it. But you can't just roll over to it. You can't. You've got to do something about it. You've got to put some courage in, give some hope with joy out there, make a difference out there. That's our job. That's who we're called to be. Shine our light in the dark, not be in the dark, or not be the dark. So they've got this bad report now, and the people of Israel cried in dismay, wept all night long. Moreover, all the people of Israel began grumbling against Moses and Aaron. The whole community told them, we wish we'd died in Egypt. Or that we'd died here in the desert. Why is Adonai bringing us to the land where we're going to die by the sword? Start grumbling against the leadership. Because who do you have a pop at when everything goes wrong? The good old blame game's your fault. We wish we'd died in Egypt or the desert. Can you imagine? We wish we were dead. Why? One time dead. How about you live? And live your life well. And leave a legacy. How about that? Yeshua says I bring life and life more abundant. Stop worrying about dying for him. That's what drives it all, isn't it? Oh, I don't want to die. Don't want to die like that. Stop worrying about dying for him. Live for him. He's the way, the truth, and the life. It's precious. It's a gift from God. Live your life and live it well for him. They crumbled with fear. Absolutely crumbled with fear and hysteria. And they start turning on Moses. We should stone them. We've got to stone them. Let's stone Moses and Aaron. And then the glory of Adonai appears in the tent to all the people, and Adonai says to Moses, how much longer have I got to put up with this? They're crumbling with fear and anxiety, and the rebellion starts. Outright violence. Let's kill him. Let's get new leaders. Literally killing Moses and Aaron and Joshua and Caleb after everything. After everything Moses had put up with. All the complaints, all the criticism. But that's how it rolls. But God didn't like it. How much longer will they not trust me? Especially considering all the signs I've performed. I'm going to strike them with sickness. I'm going to destroy them all. I'm going to start a new nation from you, stronger than they are. Speaking to Moses face to face now. He's not happy. How long are they going to treat me with contempt? How long are they going to provoke me, despise me, speak with such hatred? After all I've done, what more does he have to do to get them to believe? All the signs. You don't think you could whack a couple of giants? Like, really? So he's a bit miffed now. And he's thinking, I'm going to strike him all with sickness. I'm going to destroy him. Pretty intense, really. I'm just going to start again. I'll start with you, Moses. Let's make a great nation together. So it's pretty intense and quite full on. They want to kill Moses. He's going through the ringer. He's having a hard time of it. It's a lot to do dealing with 2 million moaning people. Herding cats, really. 2 million. And he's no young buck, is he? It's not like he's a young bloke. He's 80. He's 80-year-old. And his oppo, he's 83. It's not exactly Batman and Robin, is it? But God gives him an out. Maybe, though, God's testing him. Maybe he's testing him. There's no way God's going to wipe everybody out. A lot of the time he's testing him. He's testing us and we don't know. Even times when he says, yeah, go ahead. And you think, oh, God's blessing. Might be a test. So I think he's testing him. Moses, I love you. We talk face to face. You're the only one. Aaron, Miriam, they don't get that. But me and you are buddies. We're tight. The people are driving me round the twist. They're driving you round the twist. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do them all in and start again. But there's a reason Moses is known as the servant of God. There's a reason he's known as the most humble man there's ever been. In Numbers 12:3. Who wrote Numbers 12:3? Moses. A little egotistical, maybe, but the most humble man he's ever been. Why? Because he put his face in the dirt and he interceded. That's why. On their behalf. And he'd done that over and over and over. Beautiful heart. Beautiful, beautiful heart. Moses replied to Adonai, when the Egyptians hear about this, and they will, because it was from among them that you, by your strength, brought this people up, they'll tell the people living in this land, they've heard that you, Adonai, are with his people, that you, Adonai, are seen face to face, that your cloud stands over them, that you go ahead of them in a column of cloud by day and a column of fire by night. If you kill off this people in a single stroke, the nations that have heard of your reputation are going to say, the reason Adonai slaughtered his people in the desert is that he wasn't able to bring them to the land that he swore. Wise words from Moses. Moses at his best. Talking to the Lord, brilliant. Don't do it, Lord. He's concerned for the Lord's name and his reputation. So now please let Adonai's power be as great as when you said, Adonai is slow to anger, rich in grace, forgiving offenses and crimes, not exonerating the guilty, causing negative effects on the parents' offenses to be experienced by the children to the third and fourth generation. And he is slow to anger. When Moses said, show me your glory, Exodus 34:6, he passed before him, and that's what he said, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. Adonai, merciful and compassionate, slow to anger, rich in grace and truth. This is who you are, Adonai, forgiving offenses. I know you love these people, warts and all. Can you imagine how happy that would have made God? He'd have been like, this is my boy. Wouldn't he? Well done, son. He passed the test. And when he passed away, when he died, who did his funeral? Only God. Nobody else there. He did his eulogy. It's just going to be me and you. That's a strong bond. Please forgive the offence of the people according to the greatness of your grace, just as you've borne with this people from Egypt till now. Not according to anything that they have, according to the greatness, not just the grace, the greatness of the grace. Read your Bible slow. But still he's not happy. He's not happy. Adonai said to Moses and Aaron, how long am I to put up with this evil community who keep grumbling? I've heard the complaints of the people, which they continue to raise against me. Tell them this, as surely as I live, Adonai swears, as surely as you've spoken in my ears, I will do this to you. Your carcasses will fall in the desert. Every single one of you who are included in the census of over the age of 20. And you who have complained against me. He's going to see them. They're not going to get through to the land. Done. $603,550 men. That was the number counted. Fighting age men. You're going to wander the land and fall in the desert. So over 38 years, it's 44 people a day, 20 years and older, until they're all gone, apart from 2. Caleb and Joshua. Well, these 2 were special. So they deserve a little bit of recognition, don't they? Adonai would speak to Moses face to face, as a man speaks to his friend. Then he'd return to the camp, but the young man who was his assistant, Joshua, the son of Nun, he never left the inside of the tent. So Moses gets the marching orders. Joshua is his assistant, but he never wanted to leave the presence of the Lord. Like, just in case he got a word. Maybe God will say something to me. Joshua, the son of Nun, from his youth up, had been Moses' assistant. From his youth. Because he understood submission. We don't understand submission or the benefits thereof these days. But if we can submit to someone, if you can't submit to somebody, you can see how can you submit to somebody you can't. You were submissive. And here he is. If it seems bad to you to serve Adonai, then choose today whom you're going to serve. Will it be the gods of your ancestors served beyond the river, or the gods of the Amori in whose land you're now living? As for me and my house, we'll serve the Lord. And the people said, far be it from us that we abandon Adonai. Beautiful. That was at the end of his life. Choose this day. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord even if nobody else does. We will. We will. And in these last days, there's going to be a lot of falling away. Don't do what everybody else does. Think. Think for yourself. It matters what you do. Choose and choose life. Choose the Lord. Caleb silenced the people around Moses and said, we ought to go up immediately, take possession of it. There's no question we can conquer it. Faith. Faith. My servant Caleb, because he had a different spirit with him, he's fully followed me. Him I'll bring into the land he entered, and it will belong to his descendants. And he's a little different spirit, good, different, a bit like Beth Yeshua, like the Aldi of the Messianic world. tad peculiar, but he fully followed me, says Adonai. That's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yes.
The descendants of Judah approached Joshua in Gilgal and Caleb. You know what Adonai told Moshe, the man I've got about me, and you in Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of Adonai, sent me from Kadesh to reconnoiter the land, and I brought back to him an honest report. My brothers who went up with me discouraged the people, but I followed Adonai completely. On that day, Moses swore, surely the land where your foot has been will be inheritance for you and your descendants forever, because you followed Adonai my God completely. Now look, Adonai's kept me alive these 45 years, as he said he would, from the time Adonai said this to Moses when Israel was going through the desert. I'm 85 years old, but I'm as strong today as I was on the day Moses sent me. I'm as strong now as I was then, whether for war or simply for going here and there. Good on him.
Yep.
Strong now as I was then, ready to fight, tough, feisty. If you translate his name, every name means something. Caleb is Caleb, it's Caleb, Levi's heart, right? According to the heart. That's Caleb. Joshua means salvation. Yehoshua is salvation of the Lord. That's why Yeshua's name is derived from. It's got salvation in there. So maybe the Lord's sending us a message. You're saved according to your heart, but what do you need? What's missing? Faith. Faith. You're saved by grace through faith. And faith is what the Lord is all about. He's amazed by people's faith in the Gospels. He's also amazed at the lack of it. It's the only time you only see him amazed twice, Yeshua. One time he's amazed at somebody's faith, and the other time was when there was a total lack. Not much more impresses him. Hebrews says, with whom was God disgusted for 40 years? Those who sinned, yes. They fell dead in the wilderness. And to whom was it that he swore that they would not enter his rest? Those who were disobedient. Disgusted for 40 years. This is a letter written to the Jewish people. Messianic Jews, right? And Shaul's saying, you've got to stay faithful. Why? Because they're being persecuted. We don't really understand persecution, not like they had to endure. Killed for the faith, but he's trying to put some courage in. Those who were disobedient, they lacked trust, faith. Now, just so we're clear, so you don't feel any condemnation, that there's a huge difference between outright fear and outright rebellion. And no dad should say to the child, if they're fearful of something, you disgust me. Should they? I'm sure they're out there. But, you know, the tough guys. That's not being a father that any child needs. They need love and reassurance, compassion, security and trust. And how sad is it when a child doesn't and can't trust his father? Total failure. Our Heavenly Father just gets sad when he says, jump, I'll catch you. Don't worry. And we go, but I'm scared. I don't trust you. Makes him sad. It doesn't disgust him. Makes him sad. Doesn't make him mad. He's just sad at the lack of faith. But there's a chasm of difference between saying I'm scared and I don't believe you. We all suffer fear. And there's nothing wrong with being afraid. He knows you suffer fear. And he tells us over and over and over, don't be afraid, doesn't he? There's a reason for that. Because all he wants you to do is trust him. The gospel according to John Wayne is when you're shaking in your boots with fear, but you still saddle up and ride to the guns. That's courage. Outright rebellious unbelief is a total assault on God. It assaults his promises because you're calling him a liar. It assaults his power because you're saying he's weak. And it assaults his faithfulness because you say he's going to break his promise. No true believer could or should say those things. But if we say, well, God, the thing you said isn't going to come to fruition, I don't believe you, that's bad, right? Faith, we have to have faith. Faith, they say, smells the fragrance before it sees the flower. They say impossibilities are the food faith feeds on. Trusting is being confident of what we hope for, convinced about things we don't see. Most would say that's the definition of faith. It's really more what faith does. When we have faith, this is what happens. It brings the future within the present. It makes the invisible seen. Faith's amazing. It's a gift. Faith's a gift of the fruit of the Spirit. When we love God, we trust him, and when we trust him, we obey him. Right? And all that comes when you realize how much he loves you. He loved us first. It's all about him. It's all about his love. So when we trust him, we obey him. Abraham, what did he say about Abraham? It was Abraham who he did what I said. He did what I told him. He followed my mitzvot, my regulations, my commandments, my teachings. And he was always blessed because of it. Faith. So, obeying him, how bad's it going to be? Right? How bad can it be? Without trusting, it's impossible to be well-pleasing to God. Because whoever approaches him must trust that he does exist and that he becomes a rewarder to those who seek him out. There's no amount of good works that can compensate for a lack of faith. You don't have to work to show God that you're a good little believer. There's times you do things he hasn't asked you to do, and you won't see any fruit from it. You can't take up the slack of the lack of faith with good works. There's nothing wrong with good works. We have to have a faith that works. Faith without works is dead. So there's everything right about good works if God's telling you to do them. That makes all the difference, doesn't it? It's his work. Faith's going to glorify God. You're saying, I give it all up to you. You know what you're doing. You see everything. I don't. And we have to walk by faith, not by sight. That's who we're called to be, isn't it? It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It wasn't easy for the disciples, and they lived with him. The apostles, the emissaries, they said to him, Lord, increase our trust, didn't they? Add to our faith that we already have. We all have a degree of faith. There's a gift of faith on top of that, but that's a whole different issue. People do have the gift of faith. Like Sammy in India is very gifted with faith. Never negative. Even in the most horrible circumstances. We all have a measure of faith. But we could all ask for more. And it will be added to you. Yeshua said, what do you mean, if you can? Everything's possible to someone who's got trust. Instantly, the father of the child exclaimed, I do trust. Help me with my lack of trust. Help me with my unbelief, Lord. Every one of us can say the same, can't we? I believe, but I've got some unbelief issues. Help me with my unbelief, Lord. You've got to let Yeshua be your decision maker in your heart. It's better to listen and go, even when you're shaking in your boots. He's got to be the umpire of your heart. He knows what he's doing. And if you're willing, he can and he will use you for his purposes. It's going to come more and more. Because it's about glorifying him now. Glorifying his holy name. He uses people like us, just ordinary people, to do extraordinary things. That's what he does. Because he's God and we're not. But he has to use the agency of mankind. He just wants to use your body, really. That's all he wants to do. He's not depending on us, is he? We're dependent on him. So faith being confident in his faithfulness. Sometimes he'll part the water. Sometimes he'll still the water. He'll even solidify the water. If it means getting you out of the boat, you've got to get out of the boat. I just wanted to show you something, because we're nearly there. Numbers. They came to the Eshcol Valley, and there they cut off a branch bearing one cluster of grapes, which they carried on a pole. Between the two of them they also took pomegranates and figs. Everything means something. They brought back grapes, figs, pomegranates. Pomegranates, always symbolic of the priests and the fruit of the Spirit. Figs are always symbolic of Israel. You go, I'll give you a bonus point for that, because you was there before me. Good effort. Those who God strives with. And grapes, symbol of joy. So Adonai is sending them a message. He's saying, I strive with you. You're going to be my priests. And in my presence, there will be fullness of joy. Amen. Go and possess the land. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. He's encamped all around him. All around him. I've got you protected, he says. You've never protected yourself. Not one day. But the Lord has you. And he never leaves you, not for a second. Not for a second. And you really don't know how many times he protects you, do you? in this fallen world system. You've got no idea. And he just stays anonymous, and you never know. And I know for a fact he was with me all week. And he had this planned, because I wasn't going to do this. The songs were already there. The songs were there before anything happened this week. And the songs fit with this. So one last verse from Lamentations. Lamentations is a book that's all about inconsolable tears. Jeremiah telling his people about the Babylonians that are coming. All the murder, the raping, the pillaging, the destruction, taking the people captive. Horrible. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Separating families, killing the weak, taking the strong. Jeremiah prophesied it. And it just broke him. Weeping and wailing. He couldn't help it but cry. Because he had the heart of God. And a year after the prophecy, he wrote this. In my mind, I keep returning to something. Something that gives me hope. That the grace of Adonai isn't exhausted. That his compassion hasn't ended. On the contrary. They're new every morning. How great your faithfulness. Adonai is all I have. I say therefore I'll put my hope in him. Hope, the anchor of your soul. You had no hope, you've got nothing. Faith energizes hope. And this is what he holds on to. And it's what we hold on to. The grace of the Lord is never exhausted. That his compassion is never ending. On the contrary, they knew every morning. And how great his faithfulness is. Adonai is all I have. He's all I've got and he's all I need. So when you come to a place where it's not about you and all your stuff, because we've all got so much, forget the worldly stuff. It comes and it goes. It's about wanting him. He restores. Things come and go, people come and go, but Adonai's forever. And he wants you to hold on to him. Because he's holding on to you. Hold on to your faith. Doesn't matter how dark it's going to get. Doesn't matter. You know, there's always light in Goshen. Right? And we've got to be that light. We must always hold on to love. Even when we don't feel it. Hold on to our faith in God even when he's silent. Because we can have faith in his faithfulness. And I'm telling you, hold on to that. Hold on to that, because he's all we need. Amen. Let's stand and have a blessing. Thank you for coming on such a wild day. Everybody ate? Good. Now may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you, and may he give you what this world never will. His peace. He is the Prince of all peace, the Sar Shalom, Yeshua the King. Yivarekach Adonai v'yishmerecha, Yo'eh Adonai pano v'elecha v'hunecha, Yisa Adonai pano v'elecha v'yasem lecha Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.